I really like Chainsawman, so we're gonna do a little painting of it. Hello, welcome back. I'm doing this little painting of Chainsawman. First, let me introduce you to the scene that inspired me. So, this book, Chainsawman is a manga comic book. If you don't know, there is a anime. It's only got one season at the moment, but it's out there. And in volume 12, there's this particular scene where he's fighting this big devil. I'll explain to you the devils in a second. And the devil's like, why are you always siding with the humans, huh? Like, you trying to be some kind of superhero? What the fuck? And then, but this devil like gives him an ultimatum, and he picks up a student with a bright future or a car full of 5 old geezers and grannies. And he's like, which one will you save, superhero? And then he drops both of them, right? Then you have a few scenes, action shots, whatever. No one survives in the end. You've got car blown up, student dead on the ground. The devil has his head chopped off, he's gone. And then it cuts to the shot of a cat just like falling off a building, and then the Chainsaw Man grabs him with his hands and picks him up, and you have the scene, and it's so beautiful. I love it so much. The artist Tatsuki Fujimoto, I could have butchered that, I'm so sorry if I did, is an incredible artist. All of the devil designs that he's created blow my mind. Like, they're absolutely brilliant. And this isn't the first time that I've been reading a chapter and I've had to just stop and appreciate it for a few minutes. Like, just, it's like being in an art gallery, I guess, but in book form. I don't know. And I made this picture, which is the Darkness Devil. It's drawn in graphite, and when I created that painting, drawing, whatever you want to call it, it was the same thing. I read the scene, it made the hair stand up on the back of my neck. I was spooked, and the reveal was just incredible, and I had to draw it. It's like you see someone else's creativity and it inspires you so much that you just have to get it out of your system, kind of thing, like an explosion. So yeah, I decided to work on this painting. You might have seen me posting extra lately if you follow me, and there's a few reasons into that, but basically the point in my life, I have every reason to focus all of my energy and attention into my artwork, which I'm doing. I am going overseas soon, so I'm hoping that I can keep up that kind of momentum while I'm overseas, or at least like not long after I get back. No promises, but we'll see. I'm like pouring it all into my art. I really want to make acrylic charms and stickers and things and go to more markets, because last time I went to like Supernova and I dressed as Power from Chainsaw Man, surprise, surprise. I bought a bunch of like charms and things that I now have hanging on my bags, and I really liked them, and I never was a collector of those kind of items, but now I'm like decided I want to make some. The only thing that worries me is a lot of people's artwork has a lot less layers and details than what my artwork does, so I hope that it translates to such smaller items. But anyway, that's my own thing that I'm working on in the background. So Chainsaw Man, yeah, as I said, it's a manga. There's a 1-season anime. They're making a movie. It's due to be released later in 2025. And the premise is, in this world, there are devils all over the place. Kind of like, they call them devils. I think a lot of people would think of them as demons, but then I don't think there's one like main devil kind of thing. So there's no like hierarchy in that sense, but there is a hierarchy, because the devils have a power equivalent to how feared they are, and the fear comes from the object or item that they represent. So Chainsawman represents chainsaws. How feared people are of chainsaws is how powerful he will be. There is a chicken devil, and he's not very powerful at all, and he's not trying to go around and ravage and kill people. He doesn't really have that intention, and I don't think he could even if he wanted to. But then you have the gun devil, who is really, really powerful, and then you have the bomb devil and the sword devil, and so there's all these devils that represent, as far as I can tell, like everything. It's just some of them are so minuscule and not powerful that you will never see them or come across them. There also seems to be this story that there is a hell that they spawn from, and when they get killed on Earth, they go back to hell for like a couple of 100 years, as far as I can tell. And I don't know what brings them back to Earth or how that whole reincarnation thing works. Yeah, and then there's more to it. There's more to why Chainsaw Man's special and blah blah blah, but we're not going to go into that because spoilers. But yeah, there is also this kind of non-prejudice that comes from the main character. His name is Denji. He's a 16-year-old boy who grows up homeless, gets treated really, really horrible by humanity, gets like mugged and stuff all the time, and then makes his very first friend, which is the chainsaw devil, which at the time when he meets it is in the form of like a dog creature, I guess, and they become best friends and do everything together, and it's really, really sweet. And so in this world where everyone hates devils because they're always like killing and causing chaos and stuff like that, they're terrified of them. Chainsaw Man doesn't really have that prejudice against them because he's been treated just as bad by humans than he has by devils, so he treats everyone equally bad, I guess. He's also really, really young and immature. As I said, he's 16 years old, and if you do ever watch the anime, which I would highly recommend, it's great if you're into that kind of thing, if you're into like fighting demons and anime, I guess. But it starts off pretty immature and very comedic. Even this scene with the cat, like, you know, you have his scene there where he's like, yeah, there was a cat too, dude. Like, it's very lighthearted and quite humorous, even though it's a very serious situation. But yeah, the story progresses and gets deeper as it goes on and stuff like that. So take my recommendation with a grain of salt, that you will at first be like, the fuck is this? Why is he always talking about boobs, sort of thing? But he's a 16-year-old kid. It's part of his character and it's part of his character development, and it's really funny, but it also gets like better and more serious. And you just learn to love these characters and all their flaws. And I think that's what really draws me in, is they have flaws. And this scene where he saves the cat, I don't know, I resonate with it. As someone who's spent my entire life working in customer service, I've seen a pretty disgusting side of humanity, like almost on a daily basis. And animals are so innocent and sweet little angels that we don't even deserve. So I feel like it made me feel so much when he saved the cat over the humans. I don't know if I could say I'd do the same or not, because I'm not a superhero, but like, yeah, it made me feel so much. And when you hear about, you know, how horrible and psychotic humans are, especially towards animals, it just boils my blood and all that. But we don't need to get into that. But yeah, this scene, also the juxtaposition of this big scary devil that has like huge teeth, like this massive mouth, you've got metal bits coming out of the body, and then the way that he's so gently cuddling the cat is perfect. Like, look at that contrasting, oh my gosh, it's so good. And I will say, when I was sketching this out, I did like maybe 7 different idea sketches of how to change the picture, how to change the composition, how to change the background, but still get the same kind of message across. And I might still do one of them. I might do a more like action shot kind of one, but like I ended up landing on the scene that's basically exactly from the manga because it's just perfect. It has a gentleness to it, but then you look at his head and it's not gentle at all. He's a monster, right? I really like that. It hit me, and every now and then I'll be reading something or watching a movie or playing a game and something so creative and like well imagined and well put together hits me like that, and I am stopped in my tracks and I am breathless and I just have to admire it. And then it inspires me to this point where it's like stuck in my head and I have to get it out. And this has been one of those images that I've just had in my head and have been wanting to get out on paper, and now I finally have, and I'm really glad I have. So yeah, I think that's pretty much done. It was painted on the same as my Blaze painting, the Hahnemuhle Cappacino toned sketchbook, painted with Gensai Tambi watercolor mostly, and then I used some gouache white to add the highlights over top because yeah, gouache comes out better when it's the last layer. Really happy with how it turned out. Let me know what you want to see me paint next. Thanks for watching. See you later. Bye.